joined here by Lydia Ko. First things first, not your first time here at the CME Group Tour Championship. Just what does it mean for you personally to be back here this week?
Yeah, having missed the Tour Championship once before in 23, I think I now appreciate it more to be here. Always great to be able to kind of cap off the season here in Naples. We've been around at this event for a really long time, and it's really thanks to CME and Terry and all they've done to support support the LPGA and truly believe in us. So it's great to represent a company that truly believes in not only myself but women's golf and envision what's next. So yeah, it's an exciting week, and I'm excited to kind of cap off the 25 season on a high.
And we had a really cool night last night at the Rolex LPGA Awards. You presented 2 awards. You were honored up there as a Hall of Famer. Just what did that mean last night for you to be so integrated in the award show?
Yeah, obviously very honored to to present both awards to Lindy and Stacy. When they both asked me, I didn't really know or think that they would ask me, so it kind of caught me by surprise. They're both so deserving in their own matters of the awards that they received, and I'm glad that the other tour members think of that and kind of given them that recognition. And the Commissioner's Award with the rest of the Hall of Famers was a bit of a surprise. I think I was walking up on stage and I wasn't really sure what was happening. None of us knew. So yeah, it was, especially being, the last Hall of Famer, or the last member to be in the Hall of Fame. It felt pretty surreal to be there on stage with Judy, Betsy, Nancy, and Annika. And I definitely felt like part of the cool kids club, and it still makes me think I'm not really sure if I deserve that, but it's such a special night, and Rolex does an unbelievable job celebrating not only the players but our partners and the tournament staff and everyone that's really involved with our tour year in, year out. So it's a great night, and I think everybody had a fun time celebrating.
And last question I have before I open it up. Last year there was the fun moment up on stage with Kai when you were doing your press conference. Is he here again this week, and will he be contained?
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of training, service dog training as well. So I am proud to say that he's a different dog, for the better. I don't have to worry about him running away, and if he does make a run for it, his recall's good, so he comes. But yeah, thank goodness, I don't have, knock on wood, I don't have to worry about him getting eaten alive by gators. But that was definitely one for the memory books.
Yeah. All right, I'll open it up now in the front if there's any questions. Beth Ann, would you like to go first?
That was brilliant. A big announcement today about with the LPGA. I was hoping you could speak to the importance of what that FM partnership means with more cameras and TrackMan and live coverage, and then your assessment of Craig's short tenure so far as commissioner.
Yes, obviously a very exciting announcement for us. It was a very new information for all of us too. But yeah, I think it's what the tour and what the players deserve. And we've had events like the U.S. Women's Open or the KPMG where we do have a bit more data and coverage than our day-to-day events. So to kind of expand on that and have more coverage going forward is very exciting. And I think, as a viewer perspective, just to know that, okay, even if I can't be there or, I can't watch footage live, to see how, see with TrackMan and all these data, have a better idea of how the players are playing or how the golf course is playing, I think just kind of engages a lot more people. So it's, I think, a very big step forward for us, and the whole, not only golf, but in like other sports as well, and in other industries, I think technology has become a huge factor, and I think it engages, especially some of the younger generation that only knows this this type of I guess era in technology. So it's cool that we're kind of following that trend, and I do believe that this will just grab more attention of some people that just have a hard time tracking things, before. I think I've been in that position where I don't play a tournament and I kind of want to watch or see what happened or see some of the data, and it's been an aspect that I felt like we could really improve on. So to see the growth in that and to see how much more coverage we're going to get, domestic and overseas, it's a very exciting thing. I think there's been a lot of, exciting announcements these past couple months. I think Craig's officially been the commissioner since July-ish. So in 4 months, I think we've seen a lot of great improvement and things that I feel like we should have been in that position for a long time. So to see those things, with I think Black Desert with them being the marketing, I think, and then with FM with the media coverage, it's just. I think these last couple months has been a little bit of the fast forward pace, and it's been great to be part of that and to kind of see the growth in that perspective. And I think we're growing as an organization and becoming and having a much stronger, I guess, foundation to the organization outside of just playing for more money and what kind of directly impacts us, day to day. I think having those kind of things set is really important for us going forward, and Craig has been, I think, a good leader in that sense and bringing those kind of opportunities for us.
Two from me. First of all, one of the things in the broadcast is you guys are going to be expected to do even more like walk and talks on the course, etc. I know you guys are doing those sometimes, but what is your take on doing more of those and mid-round interviews?
Yeah, obviously it kind of depends on what routine the certain player wants. I think it's sometimes hard, honestly, to do it because you don't know how you're gonna play that hole. They might say you're gonna do it on 12, but you might have hit it in the water on 12, and the last thing you want to do is talk about what's been going on with your round. But I think our analysts and everybody have been around for a long time, where they understand and kind of read the room and say, okay, maybe we shouldn't talk to her right now, and then kind of get another opportunity. But yeah, I think it's cool in the perspective of fans to hear what the players are really thinking. And even though the mic is there, you don't catch all of the conversations you have, with your caddy and the interactions. So it's kind of like an inside the ropes experience. So it's, I think it's definitely a valuable part. But definitely as a player, it kind of goes by case, just because sometimes you're not really in the position to talk and you're just trying to focus on what's next.
Now that Kai is well trained, what's the craziest thing that Kai did?
I mean, he's still, I think his genetics is crazy. His genetics is crazy. I have learned that dog training is very expensive, so I can only imagine what it is for kids. They do say that dogs are a good stepping stone for having kids, so I'm definitely learning in the monetary standpoint. But yeah, he's honestly really great. He's still young. He's like around 2, just under 2. So he has his moments, but his training has been great, and I think it gives us the flexibility to be together more and for him to be there and support me. So yeah, it's been good, and I'm just glad I don't have to worry about chasing him. But he did run away after last year too. He ran away at HGV this year, and Minji, Megan, and I were trying to chase him down. Minji brought him one of his favorite toys and a snack, and then Megan and I were trying to corner him. So luckily it was within the gates of where we live, so it's easy. But yeah, he's the training. He's just been doing a lot of training, and it really has helped. So we can all learn and get better. Yeah. No, but it's safe to say Megan was very sweaty after we caught Kai. So I felt really bad because it was the day before the event.
All right, Josh.
When you talk about Craig kind of hitting the ground running and putting things on fast forward and growing the exposure of the LPGA Tour, when you look at this season with 29 unique winners, only 2 repeat champions, does the LPGA need 1 or 2 stars to be dominant to grab the eyeballs that you guys are deserving of and want, or is the depth and talent it's shown beneficial?
I think it's both ways. I mean, as a tour, and even as a fan perspective, yes, it's great to have somebody like a Nelly that was so dominant last year. It catches a lot of attention, especially, with her, in Nelly's case, being an American player, that I think catches a lot of different attention. And, it's kind of in the case of, even if you don't play golf, you know who Tiger Woods is. So like having that kind of a figure is, yes, very important, but at the same time, just the level of play between, the number 1 ranked player in the CME rankings to 100, I think the talent is not that far different. Obviously there's a bit of luck, how you're feeling, health-wise, and there's just a lot of variables to that. So the depth of talent is just so much stronger than before, so it is that much more difficult to win. And golf is that crazy game where I saw Nelly's press conference. She has better stats than last year, but she hasn't won, and she won like 7-8 times last year. So it's hard to sometimes stats isn't it. That's like, if you did that, you would think, okay, you would win X amount of times, but there are so many variables, and you're playing against 143 other players most weeks. It's just a lot of things. But I think as a tour, having better talent and more talent, throughout the leaderboard is just as important as having one superstar. We market ourselves to be a very global tour, and I think that's what we see, and that's what we've seen, especially having 12 first-time winners this year, a bunch last year and the year before. So I think that just shows, rookies, they aren't really rookies. They're very good, and it's really hard to count anybody out. So it is a double-edged sword in that sense of, you want the depth and the talent because, you just want to see the whole game grow. But at the same time, if I was to market someone, it's much easier to market one person than to market 30 people. So I understand both perspective, and I think just the way that a tour is now, I think there's just so much storytelling that can be made, that we don't necessarily need to just bank on having this one person.
And then with Craig, you mentioned the TV deal, the Aramco Championship, Black Desert. What do you think he should focus on next as you guys kind of look toward 2026?
He's honestly been in this kind of executive role, not only here, but obviously at the PGA of America. So for somebody that has experience like him, it's hard for me to say, I think you need to do this. He's obviously got so much experience. I do love the fact that he's a people's person. I've spent some time with him. We had a 2-hour, lunch meeting where we talked about this and that. And so it's nice that the commissioner is somebody that we can approach to and say, hey, I do think that these are aspects that we need to be better at as a tour, as an organization or for a certain event. But then at the same time, he brings that charisma, which I think you do need as a commissioner in being in this kind of a role. So yeah, it's I think there's been some sensitive topics over the last couple of years that have risen in golf in general, and I feel like we're slowly ticking these boxes away, and there are going to be new topics that's going to come, for us in the future. But I think having a good leader like him that truly understands and knows how to run a big organization like this. I think the tour has a lot of trust, and I think the members have a lot of trust in him. And I'm excited to see more new, exciting announcements, in the future. And I believe that as a tour, we're really getting stronger with our relationships with our partners, and the kind of bond that we have between the members and the staff as well. So I'm excited for what's next, and I truly believe that Craig is gonna take our tour to that next step, and I'm excited to be part of that.
All right, back here.
Hi, Lydia. Two unrelated questions. You knew the Hall of Fame was coming, but when it happened, what was the moment like? Was it surreal?
I'm not complaining the way that it happened, but the gold medal was such a big deal that I think at the moment I was just over the moon about winning the gold medal and kind of finishing that medal set, that being in the Hall of Fame was, it was nice to kind of get both of them out of the way, but I wish but in saying that, if I did it at the British Open, I would have been so excited anyway. So you can't choose, because every win is special in its own way. But I think just at the Olympics, it was just a surreal feeling. Coming down the last, having the opportunity to win the gold, and I think that was kind of the biggest thing that was on my mind. That being in the Hall of Fame didn't even cross my mind at that point. I felt like there was a lot of pressure, obviously, losing in the playoff against Nelly and in Bradenton earlier that year. I think it kind of took me a step back, and I was like, am I actually going to do it? Is it going to, how long do I have to wait for it? Is it going to keep testing me and teasing me until it really happens? But I feel like it was God's way of telling me to wait at the right moment. And, that summer that I had in Europe was the craziest stretch of golf that I have personally played and experienced. And to now be in the Hall of Fame, it still doesn't feel real. But I think the biggest takeaway I have from that is, I think before I was in the Hall of Fame, before I had won the gold medal, I felt like my life was going to be substantially different. I think when you don't have that and it feels like it's in reach, but you still haven't grasped it, you feel like, okay, if I do that, I'm going to be this different person. But truly, I am the same person as I was even before I won that, and even before going to the Hall of Fame. So in that sense, I think it's good, but I think when you're so close, you do wonder and think that it's going to be that different. But I'm still the same person. I'm still out here playing, still trying to win this event. And obviously, it's a much better mindset to be at. But before you're there, it's just a lot of mixed emotions. So I'm just glad that all of that's over, and now I can just focus on playing the best golf I can and really focus on what's in front of me, rather than all these titles that come with playing.
And secondly, Lottie Woad being in this field, having turned professional in July, so it took her 4 months. Is that impressive to you that she didn't play that much, and here she is?
Yeah, I mean, she earned her way into becoming a member through the LEAP program. I think it's a great. It's obviously hasn't been around for a long time, so it really rewards players like her. I heard that if that was around back in the day, there would have only been a handful of players that would have made it through that way. So she has proven herself that she can play well at a high collegiate level, but not only that, on multiple tours. And she kind of came out with a bang, finishing top 5 again. I think almost winning in Evian and then winning the Scottish Open. So yeah, it's been impressive to see. I've actually played a practice round with her today. She's so good at everything, and I'm not surprised she has been playing consistently well, but it also seems like she has very good work ethic. And sometimes you just see a player and go, oh, she's just so talented. They're born with it, but I'm sure she's talented and is born with it to some extent, but it seems like she works her butt off to be here and to be this good. So I'm not surprised that she's playing at this level.
Any further questions? All right, thank you very much, Lydia.
Thank you.
Where would that be under? I'll ask.